Hello and welcome to the Friends and Nice Guys podcast, episode 3. I'm Jack Welsh and I'm here with my friend who is also a nice guy. It's Callum Knight.
Oh, it is me. You've now taken friend out of there. What's happened?
I said
I'm just
friend,
a nice guy. No, you said and Phil, a nice guy.
I said friend. I definitely said friend.
I don't think you did.
Did I not say friend?
No.
Oh dear, it's not looking good for you then, is
I'm
it
just
really?
a nice guy now.
Well,
I've been demoted.
Being a nice guy is still good, but nightmare about that, Callum. How are you doing? Are you alright?
I'm good. I've had a very busy week. How has your week been, Jack?
It's not been too bad. You know what we're doing right now?
Yes?
We're exchanging basic pleasantries following the schedule.
With Callum. Yes. I won't do the bit where I do it with myself again.
No,
it's very tiring.
I don't think that should be a reoccurring joke. Anyway, welcome to episode 3 of the podcast. Today's theme is all about fame and being famous and could we be famous? Would we like to be famous? We're going to be talking about James Charles because he is very famous. I think that is undeniable. What do you think?
Apparently so, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to get into that in just a second, but we have a quick announcement. Oh, Callum, do you hear that alert noise?
Hold on. Did I?
Yes, you did, because Kai edited it in. We've been monetized on the YouTube channel.
Oh my god, I don't even have any money to throw around. Hold on. There's my car key. Oh!
I've got some sunglasses. I've put cool sunglasses on.
Alright, I've got a nasal spray.
Excellent.
I can buy loads of these now, thank you!
Nice, yeah, so expect a couple of mid-rolls. There'll probably be less mid-rolls once we manage to get some kind of sponsors and those kind of things. But while we're getting started, there'll be a cheeky few mid-rolls on the YouTube side of things, I think. So we're going to get into talking about fame in just a second, but every week now I want to do this comment of the week thing, because I thought it was funny when we did it last week.
Nice.
So we've only got one of them.
Just the one?
Just the one, because it's a good one. I'm going to read it out to you. You ready?
I'm ready.
So, this is a comment from Diamond Dead 123, which already is a good name, isn't it?
Yeah, great name, like it.
And he says, "Have a good day, Jack and CPK." But then strong start, but then he goes on to say, "I won't watch the podcast, but have a good day."
Wow, ooh. Man, I did not know I'd be going on a roller coaster of emotions this morning. I will try and have a nice day, but I'm going to struggle now.
Oh, there's no point replying. He's not watching. Don't worry about it.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. God, I'll have to reply to the comment after this. That's going to irk me.
But yes,
it's going to really bother me.
That was comment of the week. Add a nice reverb to that one, please, Editor Kai. Do you want to do it, Callum?
But what? Do your reverb?
No. You do your comment of the week.
I quite liked yours. I actually really liked yours. That's probably exactly what I would have done.
I did nail it then, I suppose. That's fair enough.
I think you did nail it.
Right, shall we talk about James Charles in a shopping centre?
I think we should. It's his favourite place to be.
Okay, that sounds good. So, this was inspired by a big clip that's going all over the place. I reckon we should watch the clip now. Shall we watch the clip?
You know what? Let's roll the clip.
Okay. Bloody Nora.
That's wild, isn't it?
You've been there?
I mean, not while this was happening, but
yeah. Okay, no way. Is it nice?
It's just the bull ringing, but it's just a shopping centre.
It looks good. I've been to the Metro Centre and it looks fairly similar. I'm going to be honest, but yeah, that was James Charles, and that was mental, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was. From what I understand from looking into this, he was opening a Morph beauty shop that was there.
Right.
So it's probably not even pronounced Morph. It's Morph, and then it could be Morphe. Don't know. I know he has a makeup palette with them, which is probably why he was doing that work with them. I only know that because of do Secret Santa between the friend group every Christmas, and this year I got Steph Sims in my Secret Santa, and she wanted the palette, but it was sold out everywhere in the entire universe. So, but I learned, and I've now applied that knowledge to this. Isn't that great?
That was really fitting. Yeah, that's brilliant. That's excellent. But yeah, that was absolutely insane. And unfortunately, he got a lot of backlash because he kind of broke Birmingham after that. I think, didn't he?
Yeah. Just before we fully move on to the fact he did actually break an entire city,
Yeah.
I'll send you this picture, Jack, so you can have a look as well. This was my favourite moment of the whole video. This guy,
Yeah.
very, very close to the front, doesn't care.
He did not
In
want to
fact,
be there.
he's
He's
the
a
front
tag-along,
line.
isn't he?
Like, that's the camera panning round. He does not care. He's literally just trying to get to JD Sports, and they're in the way. Like, he needs to go pick up some
That's
shin
what
pads.
happens, yeah. Oh, man.
It's like, I've got 5 aside in 2 hours, and there's some guy here shouting about LO Birmingham, and there's 9,000 people here.
Bless him. Yeah, when I originally watched it and I saw that little fella, I assumed he was like somebody's girlfriend, but I think it's much funnier to imagine that he was just trying to do some shopping.
He's trying to get a vegan sausage roll from Greg's.
He was. I've still not got one of them, by the way, you know. Becky's
Neither have
tried
I.
3 times to get one. They've been sold out every time.
Yeah, it's the exact same where I am.
Sort
The
yourselves
closest one
out.
to me doesn't do them.
Right.
The next closest one has been sold out both times I've tried.
That's shocking,
Very
that,
sad.
isn't it? Appalling.
Very sad. But yeah, on what you were saying, he got a whole bunch of backlash, which we spoke very briefly before the podcast about this, and like, I do not dislike or like him. I know very little about him.
Yeah.
He's a very influential figure, clearly. The first thing we were going to mention is that so this is an article by the Daily Mail filled with pictures of all those people that you just saw or heard, depending on where you listen to the podcast. The article reads, "WhoTube?" Which, by the way, bravo. That's journalism right there. WhoTube?
Unreal.
Got him! Virtually unknown US vlogger and his 8,000 screaming fans.
What?
Unknown, 8,000 screaming fans.
Yeah, ridiculous. I don't know what they were thinking.
And he brought Birmingham city centre to a shock standstill with extra police drafted in amid crash fears as he opens a cosmetics store. The amount of people that went to get there, people were sort of abandoning their cars in the street.
Oh my
God.
God.
It was bad.
Like zombie apocalypse style kind of stuff.
Yeah, to go and meet James Charles. I don't think I'll ever get over virtually unknown vlogger and 8,000 fans.
Yeah, why on earth would they... It's like Daily Mail were just trying to like shove a put down in there where they could, wasn't it?
Yeah, because there's absolutely no need to... You've just said he has 8,000 people there to see him, and that he shut the city down. Clearly he isn't unknown at all.
Yeah, I actually I went to find the article, and I believe I can see a little edit was made a couple of hours after it was released, and the title has changed. If this is... I don't want to say 100% because it might be a different article, but I couldn't find the original, so I think they edited the title to get rid of that little...
Is it the one that James Charles fans bring Birmingham City Centre to a standstill?
Yeah, I believe so.
It's got the same images, so I reckon that's the same article. So what's happened there is they've been absolutely ruined.
God.
It was a 30-second appearance. That's wild.
Goodness.
Oh my God.
That's crazy,
man.
isn't it?
And I can't even get a text back.
It's a nice trendy joke that you shoved in there.
Oh, trendy!
Trendy, I'm bringing it back. I'm making it cool.
It's not gonna happen.
Trendy is now it's a cool thing that people say, everyone.
Is that what it is?
Got a lot of
Is that what
negative
we're
comments
is that what we're
about
gonna
me
force down them?
slipping out trendy during the first like awkward 5 minutes where I'm still like warming up.
To be fair, I'm with them.
What do you mean?
You can't say trendy. My granddad says trendy.
Whatever. Right. Should we take a look at what the newsreaders said about
Yeah,
Birmingham
because
getting broken?
have you seen? Is this the video one?
This is the one with the elderly gentleman and the woman in pink.
Yeah. Have you seen this one?
Yeah, I'm watching from
Okay.
16 seconds in. Here we go.
All right. Let me time myself so I know what we're talking about.
An hour and a half to get home. How long did it take you to get home?
Well, about the same. About the same. It was amazing. But actually, how do you for a makeup star? I mean, you do beautiful makeup. Why? You get yourself on YouTube.
That's because I take advice from a woman, not a man.
Oh dear. Oh, she shouldn't have done that one. Oh dear. Oh, it's the little
God.
look. It's the little look that she does directly at the
I
camera
think she
lens.
does. Is it a
afterwards.
little wink?
Did
she hit us
it was
with a
something
little
like that.
wink?
There
Oh,
was a
it's an
definitive little
eyebrow.
head tilt as well.
Yeah, it's an eyebrow raise. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows exactly.
What was she thinking? You don't know, silly lady.
Like, it's just an interesting one for me because unless she knew exactly what she was doing, right? Which I think she did. I think she knows that if I say this, this is going to happen. The issue is she's being mega sexist.
Yeah.
Which isn't a word I like to throw around, because I do think it gets thrown around too often when things aren't actually sexist remotely. But to say that's because I take advice from a woman, not a man. Like, the only time I've ever seen James Charles's videos, he's ridiculous at makeup.
Yeah, he's very good.
So how can she say something like that? Just blows my mind.
So do you think that she was trying to cause a bit of controversy there then, or?
Yeah, it's what I call the Piers Morgan paradox.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, we did mention Piers. Piers had 2 shout-outs in 3 of our podcasts.
Nice.
He's a guy who, I think he's pretty well known in the States, actually, because he did a TV show, didn't he? Piers Morgan TV show. I've forgotten what it's called. I'm going to find out really quickly.
That's fine. You take your time.
Piers Morgan's Life Stories. He did that in the States, I'm pretty sure, where he would get people who, like, were really famous, but then, like, their careers had, like, gone down because of something bad or, like, drugs or some, and then got them on to tell their whole life story. And, like, it was maybe the most bearable he's ever been, actually. Whereas now in the UK, he's just known for being opinionated, let's say.
Yeah, just saying things to deliberately annoy people so that people talk about him, I think.
Yeah, and that's the only reason I think that's one of the reasons the TV show that he's on every morning, I think he's on Good Morning Britain, right? I think.
Yeah, he is.
That's part of the reason it does so well, is because they know that they'll get a guest on who has a strong opinion about something, and no matter what he believes, he'll just go against them. He'll be like, right, okay, devil's advocate, here's what I'm saying. And he'll just say ridiculous things. Like, there was one thing where someone was on talking about being gender fluid. This was like one of his most famous controversial moments. And they were talking about being gender fluid and how they didn't assign themselves a gender at any given time and things like that. And he went, right, so why can't I do it then? And they were like, well, I mean, you could. If that's actually what you feel, then you could. And he's like, okay, I identify as a 32-year-old black woman. And then everyone was just like, you can't really do that. He's like, why can't I? What? He's like, that's how I feel I am. And I'm like, okay, I mean, you can't. Like, he'll do it to push people's buttons because he knows people are going to be super triggered by that.
One person that he wasn't mean to, I saw him do a little interview with, it was your mate James Buckley. And I
was he nice?
And he absolutely loved James Buckley to the point where I feel like James Buckley felt a bit uncomfortable about it because he was fanboying in front of him. It was crazy, and he kept just like butting in with everything he was saying. There was a bit of a nervous look from James. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, well, to be fair, to touch on that, which does kind of slides in. We could maybe bump forward one of the other questions.
Whoa, you want to mess with the schedule?
Yeah, I think we should. Just throw it in there.
Oh my god, you've highlighted it. What are you doing?
I forgot you can see what I'm doing on it.
Whoa. What are you doing with my bullet point, Callum?
I'm not going to move it. I'm just going to start talking about it now.
Okay.
But yeah, I think, we were saying, a fun topic would be who is the most famous person we've met.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's probably people I might have forgotten, or I'll feel bad and say something like, oh wait, that person. But there's difference between, I guess, actually meeting and meeting, right? Because, like, Robert Downey Jr. pointed at me once. Did I meet him? No. But, like...
Wait, why did he point at you?
So, I'm kind of a big deal, and I was on the red carpet for the Avengers of Infinity War.
Oh, here we go.
Right?
You and your bloody red carpet.
I was on the red carpet.
I was at the premiere, and Jacksepticeye came over to me and said, hey, can I talk to you?
That happened, yeah. So, I was at the red carpet for the Avengers Infinity War movie, and it's actually half red, half blue, because it was a war, which is very clever.
Nice.
And as I was walking down it, you walk down it at the same time as the actual celebrities do, but they're usually doing press over to one side or something. So you kind of just walk behind them like, hello, and then just walk away.
Right.
I thought, there's Robert Downey Jr., have to take this chance. So I just sort of like waved towards him, waved back.
Oh,
and that was it for me. So if that counts, that. If not, it probably is James Buckley, to be fair.
James Buckley, who, if you don't know, he was Jay on The In-Betweeners, wasn't he? Which was a very big show.
Very big show in the UK.
Yeah.
He was not in the American one, and by the way, that was dreadful.
No.
Because it was all the British jokes, but in America, and none of it really made sense.
Dreadful.
So I met James. I was literally looking at YouTube videos, and it came up in related video. It was like, James Buckley interviews a Call of Duty pro.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I was like, because I knew his name. I was like, what's he doing that for? So I like looked at the video, and then I found out he had a channel, and I was like, what? This is sick.
Completed it, mate.
Yeah, completed it, mate, which is a great throwback to the show. And I commented on the video saying, like, this is insane. Really cool to see someone that's, like, traditionally a celebrity doing stuff like interviewing a Call of Duty pro, because that's not traditional celebrity at all. And then he literally just commented back to it and was like, oh, I said, like, if you ever want to play some games or something, hit me up.
Right.
And to my surprise, about 2 hours later, he was like, oh, yeah, man. He's like, I'll follow you on Twitter or something. And I was like, will he? And he did. I was like, all right, wild. Nice. And it went from there. We didn't really play many games, to be fair. In fact, I don't think we played a game to this day. But he did interview me for his channel at an Insomnia once.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dan TDM was in it or something as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, so he interviewed me. He interviewed me and interviewed Dan. I think Dan was more because his kids like Dan. Right. And then, like, I actually obviously spoke to him a few times. And he's like, would you like to be in a YouTube video with me? And what you were saying about him being, like, kind of shy, like on the Good Morning Britain thing, like maybe taking it back, he was actually quite shy in person.
Yeah.
Which I think is a testament to what a fantastic actor he is, because that is the opposite of what Jay from The In-Betweeners is.
It's unreal. We watched the whole series like a week ago.
I think it's probably the series I've watched the most. Like, it definitely is. When I was like 18, 19, when it was all like actually happening, I had the DVDs and I would just put them on to go to sleep. So like I would just fall asleep to ba 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 da da da, just the same intro over and over again. And it would loop as well. It was back when we watched DVDs, all right, in my age, and they would have a menu that had looping music on. And that was the worst thing ever if you fell asleep.
But it would stop for a second when it like got to the end of the loop.
Yeah, so it'd like fade out and then go. But yeah, I think that's probably the most famous person I've met, and he's a super nice guy too. So hopefully, we planned a video together once when Pokemon Go was popping. He had this idea where I would be his Pokemon Go like teacher, and he would be my student. And said that I could go to his house and he'd pick me up and everything. And I was like, that's wild.
He'd pick you up and everything?
Yeah, in his car. He's got a really nice car as well. And I was like, oh, look at me. But then didn't happen because Pokemon Go fell off as quick as it came out. So, what about you?
Most famous person.
Have you met the Chuckle Brothers?
I've met the Chuckle Brothers twice.
I thought there was something that made me think, like, is that actually going to be his answer?
Yeah, well, let me talk about the Chuckle Brothers. So I met them both. Because they used to do their clubbing, where they do like DJing.
Can we hold on just to set the precedence of this?
Yeah,
this is two old men, right? Like when, like 60s, 70s years old.
Yeah,
easy.
Like 70s definitely.
So just to premise, when Jack said they like to do their clubbing, if you're getting this mental image of these like two young hip guys, no.
But no, they did a children's show called Truckle Vision, didn't they, when we were young? So they were very, very popular, and now they just kind of, before poor Barry passed away not too long ago, God rest his soul, they would do kind of a lot of events and DJing in clubs and those kind of things, and that was something that I did a few years ago. So unfortunately, I have absolutely no memory of the first time I met them because of the alcohol consumption.
Was you getting Larry?
That I had, apparently, yeah. So I have a picture, which I'll find for our viewers,
Please
and Kai can put it on screen.
My God.
The funny thing about the picture is it's me, it's Paul, it's Barry, and then it's two other strangers, and I have absolutely no idea who they are.
But they were probably a friend through the night.
But I'm getting a nice picture with them, so that's nice. And then the second time I met them was maybe 2 years later. Once again, they were DJing, obviously.
the Larry lads that they were.
But this time, the club in Newcastle did like a retweet competition. So it was retweet to win like a meet and greet with the Truckle Brothers. And I can only assume that the reason that I won the retweet was just because I happened to have, like...
You're the only one that was doing it with a following on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. I had, like, a few thousand followers because of YouTube and stuff, so I guess they just made, like, a smart decision that it would look good for them. So then it was unreal. We got to, me and Becky and a couple of friends, we got to meet the Chuckle Brothers.
God.
And we got to... It was hilarious. There was the other competition winners stood outside this like awkward little room because we weren't really sure what was happening. And one by one, people were brought in, and then eventually it got to our turn.
Oh.
We went in, and there they were. Oh, my goodness.
I imagine just sat there going, to me, to you, to me,
believe
to
it.
you.
They had their little leather jackets on, and honestly, it
Course
was
they
the
did.
softest leather that I've ever touched. It was absolutely glorious.
Love my neck. It's getting a bit sensual now.
It was about 4 minutes, I think.
So-
but I did get pictures there as well.
So to clarify, are they the most famous person, or is this a sub-story of who is the most famous person?
I could probably pick one other guy.
Go on.
But quickly, I just want to say that Barry was always my favourite of the two, no offence to Paul. I feel like...
No, of course not. I think
that was
Barry was a
fairly
lot
common.
of people's favourites.
I think it's something about his little face, isn't it? He's just got a
Yeah,
cheekiness
and
to him.
he always had he was always the funny responder. He always had the funny little one-liners.
Yeah.
Or like in the show, he didn't quite understand what was going on, so that was funny. And Paul always had to explain it to him, and that's fine. But it just made him that little bit funnier, I think.
Yeah, Paul was the straight man of the two, I suppose.
He was, yeah.
But at the time, I wanted a picture with him, but our time was up, so because we had like 2 minutes with them or something before they had to, be on stage or something for their adoring fans.
Of course, yeah.
So I just accepted defeat, and I was on my way out, and then all of a sudden, I hear, Jack! I turn round.
What?
It's Barry Chuckle. He's shouting at us. He's like,
What?
he's guiding me over. Basically, what happened was Becky saw how disappointed I was, and she just, she went for it. She went up to him, and she was like, excuse me, Barry, could my boyfriend have a picture with you? And he was well up for it. And then I got a picture, and I'll put it on screen.
Because they're genuinely nice people.
Because he was lovely, yeah. And then I got my little picture with Barry, and off I went. It was amazing.
He's precious.
I know, so
It's making me sad now.
So sad. R.I.P. Barry. Paul's still going doing his DJing solo now, and he seems to be loving it, to be fair to him.
Yeah. It must be weird for him, like, because they were basically, to put it into a context of how close those two were, they're like old Ant and Dec, essentially.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Ant and Dec did obviously like everything together for the last like 15 to 20 years. They were like that, but from being like 30.
And they're
Through
real,
to-
actual brothers as well.
Which is just wild. Like,
Yeah.
they did everything together in their acting careers, so like, I can't imagine what he's going through, to be fair. Must be mad.
I was really surprised to see that he was continuing to do the DJing and all those
Yeah.
kind of things, but
I thought it'd take quite a fair bit of time out, if anything, but
yeah,
fair play to him.
I didn't think that he'd like stop doing stuff, but I expected he would just do things like appearing on like panel shows, like Would I Lie to You and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no, he's still
fair,
going with
fair
his
play to
DJing.
him fair play to him for still doing it. I guess it's one of those things, isn't it, where when something like that happens, you think, would the other person want you to just sit and do nothing?
Yeah,
And like, you like to think that they wouldn't, right? So maybe he just was like, I guess it's a nice distraction too,
yeah, definitely.
getting on with it. So who is the most famous person, Jack?
I reckon. I mean, I met Stephen Mulhern.
Have you really?
Yeah, it was.
Can't stand him.
It was
Steve, mate, if you're listening, I can be swayed. No, I actually have no
offense,
issue
Steve.
with him at all.
Let's
He
get
just,
him on guest
he
for
just,
episode 4.
he just hosts everything now.
Yeah, he does.
Like, absolutely everything.
No, so Stephen Mulhern, he used to be like a magician, didn't he? But
Yeah,
now
yeah.
he kind of hosts like Britain's Got More Talent and those kind of things.
His catchphrase. Does
Catchphrase,
now
he
as
does
well.
catchphrase. His humour's very much about making fun of people that are stupid, I think, but like not in a mean way, just in like a nice way.
Especially on catchphrase, when it's like, say what you see, everyone. It's like, green armchair. Like, yes, the popular saying, green armchair. No, it's not that. Like, oh, okay.
But yeah,
I'm
I
sorry, I'm an
reckon
idiot.
it was probably like 2003 or something,
Wow.
and it was at Butlins. He was doing a magic set.
Oh, Matt, you saw him when he was like peak magic thing.
Yeah, and to be fair, he was a
Wild.
very talented magician. I was very impressed.
Yeah.
But,
That's insane.
so afterwards, he was doing like a meet and greet, and he was selling his like little magic box. Which I want to say, the magic box was unreal, and I
feel
had
like I might
so
have
much
had it,
fun.
honestly.
Oh, it was amazing. Kai's putting a picture of it on screen right now, if you can find it.
God, Kai, it's amazing how Kai always knows to do this stuff.
He's good,
Yeah.
isn't he? He's always like
Yeah.
one step ahead of the game. Do appreciate it. But he signed it as well, and this is where things get quite mental, Callum. Actually,
All right.
So
Did he go, your Jack sucks at MC?
Not quite. He signed it, and he said, "What's your name?" And I was like, Jack Welsh. And what he put was, to my best mate, Jack Massey Welsh. He knew my middle name without me telling him. He's an actual wizard.
What?
He's an... I don't... To this day, Callum, I don't have an explanation for you. I have no idea.
I'm in shock.
Callum, I'll never know, and I think about it probably at least once every 2 weeks. How did Stephen Mulhern know my middle name without me telling him he's an actual wizard? That's all I can assume.
I love the thought that sometimes you and Becky just sat there and you're just like glazed over looking out the window, and she's like, Jack, you're thinking about it again, aren't you? I just don't understand. I said Jack Welsh. How can he have known Massey? It doesn't make sense.
I have absolutely no idea, though. I genuinely don't. I kept trying to think back, and I didn't have like a name tag or anything on. He just knew.
And if you did, would you have your middle name on it?
Probably not. No. How incredible is that?
Absolutely mental. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's not just a magician. He's also a clairvoyant.
Yeah, your mind's blown, isn't it?
It is. I'd struggle to read it now, but I won't know my full name. I'd love to meet him now. I'm going to test him.
Yeah, I wonder if we need to get him on the podcast just so we can get an explanation, because I want to work it out.
What shows did he do? He did kids TV, right?
Oh, I can't really remember. I just remember he rocked Butlins, though. I'm not going to lie.
Did he rock Butlins?
Yeah.
Blimey heck, he's 42 years old.
Is he?
He looks fantastic.
Goodness.
Blimey heck, I'm just having a quick look before I know we're about to go to our ad break. That's definitely real. I'm just trying to see if he hosted anything that was on ITV. I don't know if he did he do some stuff? I'm sure he did kids TV like way back in the day.
Oh, I would assume he started off like that, particularly with his magic.
He hosted children's ITV in 2001.
Right.
That
was probably around like Butlins' time as well.
He hosted the Junior Eurovision Song Contest. Can you believe that?
No way.
And apparently he hosted Stars in Their Eyes. Oh no, he was on it. And he played Robbie Williams when he went on.
And that's why he's the most famous person that I've ever met.
Yeah, I was trying to see, because, in terms of traditional celebrity, I was trying to see if we had an in, because I've got a friend now named Sam, who is he's the host of Scrambled, which I believe kids TV is on CITV, which is children's ITV. So I was trying to see if we had an in.
So that we could reach out.
Yeah, Sam is actually who I share my Guinness World Record with on Mario Kart. He's a good friend of mine now. And maybe I could have had like an in. Maybe he could have... you know what? In the break, while we're having a break, I'll see if he follows Stephen Mulhern. I'll see if we can get an in. And we can find out if he really knew your middle name.
Okay, I can't wait. I want answers, Callum. I will not rest. I want answers. Right, we'll be right back. This time, there will be an actual mid-roll because we're monetized.
Blimmin' heck, we can do that.
Welcome back. That was a good mid-roll. Hope you watched it all the way through without skipping. How are you doing, Colin?
Oh, I'm good. I can already feel the cash. It's really flowing in.
Since the break, you've discovered a revelation. What's the sad news?
Yeah, so we've had a bit of an issue. So my friend Sam Homewood follows Stephen Mulhern, so you can imagine our excitement as we found that out. Went across to Stephen Mulhern's Twitter, because obviously one following one doesn't mean anything.
No.
Sadly, Stephen Mulhern, the cheeky man, does not follow my friend Sam back.
Oh, that's very disappointing.
Absolutely unbelievable. And now, just quickly before we move off it, because I completely forgot.
Yeah.
I don't want to fully escape the situation now. Two famous people that I met at Insomnia because their kids were fans.
Really?
Completely forgot.
Who's that?
So, Sam Bailey, who you may know as X Factor UK winner in like 2009 or something, came up with their kids. I didn't recognise her, to be fair. And she was talking to us about what we do and how cool it is. And we was like, oh, what do you do? And she was like, oh, I'm a singer. And we were like, oh, okay. And she's like, yeah, I go around, like I do some shows here and there. She really played it down, right? Yeah. So we didn't really think much of it. And then someone was like, didn't Sam Bailey go on the X Factor? And I was like, you know, the name does actually ring a bell, to be fair.
Yeah.
I was like, let me see if I can look her up. And I remembered her audition. She looked completely different now. Like, It was wild. So yeah, I met her. And also, Angela Griffin. One you probably won't know. But Angela Griffin is an actress, and she is known for being in Coronation Street.
Yeah, I
She was
recognise
in
her.
Waterloo Road,
Yeah.
right? You know, some big shows. And her kids were a fan of us,
Jeez.
and which is pretty cool. And we were talking to, and I actually recognised her because I was a Waterloo Road fan.
Oh my
And
god.
didn't want to say anything.
You know what, Callum?
What?
I'm sure she's listening over her kid's shoulder right now to the podcast.
Well, maybe she
Let's
is.
bring her on.
Well, you know what? The thing is, it's actually not completely unreasonable because I spoke to her at the event,
Yeah.
and then I spoke to her a little bit afterwards, and we actually follow each other on Twitter now.
Oh,
So,
no way. Oh my goodness. You
So-
and Angela Griffin follow each other on Twitter.
me and Angela Griffin follow each other on Twitter. So when I'm posting these tweets about the podcast, Jack, Angela could be
Jeez.
listening herself.
Oh, this is great. This is absolutely mental. My
It honestly is absolutely insane. So, Angela, my gal, if you are listening, of course, we'd love to pick the brains of an actress. So,
I'll tell
want
you
to
what,
come on
though.
and be a guest.
Episode 4 is going to be a mental one. We've got James Buckley, we've got Sam Bailey slipping in, Angela.
Yeah, I'm sure
Stephen
they'll all come on the
Mulhern,
podcast for us. He's going to do some live magic. It's going to be really good.
Audio only. I can't wait for it.
Audio only. Pick a card. Don't tell me what it is. Like, well, this is terrible. But yeah, just quickly before we went off the topic, I just wanted to get those out there because I knew that there would be people who were celebrities who I'd completely forget.
Yeah, that's fair enough. One thing that's funny, by the way, when I went onto Steve Mulhern's following list, guess who's right at the top?
Who?
Butlins.
Wait, they're at the top of Stephen Mulhern's.
When I clicked follow, and
like-
they were right on the top left. Yeah, it's great.
Does
to
that
see.
not mean that
He most
that's the
recently
most
followed
recently followed them?
Maybe.
Is he going back?
them. Oh my god, you heard it here first. A
Can
Friends and Nice Guys exclusive.
Do you think we could open for him when he does his stage show?
I'd do it. That sounds good. Fair enough.
Amazing.
Oh man, right. Shall we move on? Let's talk about just the idea of being famous generally, Callum. What do you think?
Yeah, do you ask me? Are you asking me what I think about talking about it, or what I think about the idea of being famous?
A bit of both. I want to ask you: would you personally like to be famous? What's your thoughts?
I think fame's such a weird word now because of people like us, because of the internet, we've kind of ruined it, haven't we? Really?
Are you saying that you consider yourself famous already?
I think that we fall under the celebrity bracket.
Well,
I would say
we are pretty high on famous birthdays.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to make this a thing, by the way. Boost us every episode, 'cause it's hilarious. Can you imagine if we can get into the top 1,000?
Oh my goodness.
There's just people scrolling past. I want to beat the blooming guy from One Direction's little sister. She's doing my head in. Why is she ahead of me? I'm nearly in the top 2,000 now, mate. We're bumping through.
I'm sure you told me that I was one ahead of that woman that fell over on Dancing on Ice at the weekend.
Gemma Collins!
Yeah.
Well, she might be back above you now after
That's
such a
true,
monumental...
that's true,
You know
since she was
what?
in the
I would be
news.
very surprised if she isn't trending. I'm going to have a quick look. Let's look at trending. Has she gone up any? I've just Control F'd the word Gemma. Absolutely nothing. So I guess she's not trending, meaning you're probably still above her.
Oh yeah, she's 4,409.
Oh my god, you're way above her now!
I'm like 1k ahead of the woman that fell over on Dancing on Ice. Kai's overlaying a clip of her falling right now.
So when do we get to go on Dancing on Ice is the real question. I just popped you a boost on yours there, mate. Don't worry
Oh,
about
thanks.
it.
I'll do the same, mate. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I like this. You uploaded your first video to your channel, Minecraft 2.0 The Pink Wither Challenge, hardcore speedrun, did
Yeah,
you?
not even true.
April
Not
5th,
even true.
2013.
That was not my first video.
Well, that's a shame. Oh, you share your birthday with Tana Mojo.
I know, yeah, I do. And Ethan
And
Klein.
Lionel Messi.
Quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah, look at you go.
Not bad.
Amazing.
So,
but
would you go on like things like, you know, maybe I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here or something if you were
I
asked?
think there's certain ones that you might and there's certain ones you wouldn't. I think that Joe Sugg played it brilliantly.
Yeah.
I think Come Dance With Me? What the hell? What's it called?
You seem to have merged Strictly Come Dancing and Come Dine
Strictly
With Me.
Come Dancing. It's because I'd go and come down with me in a heartbeat.
Oh my goodness, Come Dance With Me. That needs to be a merger spin-off, doesn't it?
The food's ready.
Unreal.
It works out amazing.
Wait, you said you'd go on Strictly Come Dancing?
No. I think that's a good one to go on for
right, okay.
like people. I think things like I'm a Celebrity are a terrible idea.
Why is that then?
Well, I mean, look what happened when we did try it.
Yeah, that was
You know
just
about that,
because
right?
they
Like-
found like some 8-year-old tweets of the fella saying like bad
Was
words.
it Jack?
wasn't
Was it Jack Maynard?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is interesting, because I'd argue he only got on because he's Conor Maynard's brother. Because Conor Maynard is actually... Conor Maynard came from YouTube, moved to celebrity because he's actually a talented singer and like released a bunch of like top 20 hits, and then sort of drifted back into YouTube, I think.
Right.
I'm not into... I mean, I know Jack's got a channel and stuff.
I reckon there'll be another YouTuber on the next one.
Do you think? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's stupid to overlook them now. I really do.
Definitely.
Like, when you're having people on there who... Let's be honest. I think the difference is that a YouTuber would take the opportunity to go on a show like that when they're on the come-up.
Yeah.
So, like, if we got contacted by a TV show now, I'm like, hey, would you want to come on this? Chances are I'd consider it.
Yeah.
But then it's like, a lot of the people that go on those shows are on it because they're on the come down.
Yeah.
So, like, you look at the people
There's
that
a
go
bit
on
of
I'm a
both,
Celebrity,
isn't there?
and it's, like, usually a mix of, like, someone who just won Love Island, someone who just won some other, like, reality show, and then a football manager from 35 years ago.
Yeah, like an artist that was popular in the 80s.
Yeah,
and those
someone
kind of
someone who was popular in the 80s, you know, Anne Haggerty, the absolute legend from The Chase, you know, she's my all-time favorite. So, you know, I think it's a weird mix. And I think on the topic of, like, would you want to be famous? I mean, like I say, I think we fall under a celebrity bracket already. 'Cause, I mean, we go to events and people meet us and, like, queue to meet us and things like that, and they buy merch, and, you know,
Yeah.
we're a person of interest, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I think the word celebrity sounds gross.
Yeah.
Because I think it's
And it's
like a way of
disgusting
putting
to
yourself...
call yourself famous as well.
It's about, it's almost like if you're calling yourself that, it's like you're trying to put a gap between yourself and like a regular person. You know, there is absolutely no difference, especially in our job. I'm sure an actor might sit there thinking, yeah, there is a difference between what I do and what they do, because I'm an actor. I went to acting school for this. Anyone can do what we do, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to be funny, you know, or well, I mean, they don't have to be, clearly. I've still got a job, so... but, you know, there's a certain level of things that we have to know, but you don't have to have any qualifications. You don't have to go and train for hours. You have to practice, really, do you? You just sort of go at it and learn on the job.
Just need internet access, don't you? And you just get on with it and learn.
Yeah, it's literally as simple as that. So, I mean, I do think we fall under a category of fame.
Yeah.
I don't know if I call us famous. I don't know. It's a weird one, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think some people would consider us famous. I personally wouldn't consider myself famous. I kind of feel like you need to be at, like, the 10 million plus subscribers to be, like, properly famous. Like, people like PewDiePie are properly famous, and people
I
that
consider,
don't
like,
know
Dan
YouTube
TDM.
know him and that kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yes, like, I mean, Dan TDM as well. I consider him to be famous. I consider
Yeah.
him to be a celebrity. Like, I used to see his tweets. He'd be like, he'd go out and, like, people would see him in, like, you know, he's going out for dinner. And people would be like, oh my God, there's Dan. And then people would come up to him multiple times while he's eating. And I'm like, that's fame. Like, that's exactly what fame is, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. So, speaking of that, one person on Twitter wanted us to talk about, like, our experiences being recognised in public and that kind of thing. Do you have many of those?
Quite a few over the time, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming we're ruling out events for public.
Yeah, because it's a little bit...
Because that's we're expected to be there, right? Yeah. I mean, I think getting recognised somewhere is more impressive if people don't know you're going to be there, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so I mean, I've had a few for sure. Like, in my time, it happens more in America because, like I said, my audience is mostly there.
Yeah.
So if I go out to, like, when I go out to LA for VidCon and stuff, there'll be a few occasions, no doubt. Especially if I'm traveling with the group too. So, like, if there's me, Lizzie, Joel, Ollie, and Scott.
Yeah,
in
and you're
one
all
place,
turning up with your bright coloured hair and that.
yeah, like, if there's, like, me, like, literally me, Yami, Lizzie, Joel, Scott, Ollie, and Joey Graceffa.
Yeah.
People are going to see one of them and be like, oh, that means that these people are those people, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it happened recently. I can't remember if I spoke to you about it or if I mentioned it on the podcast. This is the problem now. Can't remember what we spoke about. I was at the cinema recently in Castleford. Which is my local cinema, which isn't so close you can work out exactly where I live. It's 20 miles away, all right? But I live in a small town. There's nothing here. And I went to go and watch a film. I don't remember what movie it was now. But we were stood watching. Inside, they have these little owls, and you can pay like £1 to hold an owl on your wrist or something.
£1?
It might be £3. And they also have like some stuff in terrariums, so like, you can hold a spider and stuff.
Right, and this is within the cinema?
The cinema's in like a shopping complex.
Oh, right, okay.
It also has a ski slope. It's pretty wild.
No way, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, shout out to anyone who actually knows what I'm talking about here. I'm sure there are a few people who have been to Xscape in their time.
Oh my goodness.
They also got this new thing now where it's called the Leap of Faith, where they like put you on like a bungee rope, not a bungee rope, but like they strap you in, and you just jump off and you like fall down. And
God, how big is this shopping centre?
It's quite tall. It's quite tall.
It's all good.
It's maybe a 30-foot drop. And there was this little girl who was up there doing it, and it fully brings up, like, it grabs everyone's attention. The thing goes, "It's time for the leap of faith."
Yeah.
And he goes like, 3, 2, 1. And then the little girl was just stood there, like, almost in tears. Like, she didn't want to do it, clearly.
Right.
Like, imagine the X Factor guy voice. You know, the guy who says, like, "Rachel Adedeji."
Peter Dixon, I think his name is.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, I
Oh, what a treat. Let's get him on.
Yeah. He'd be unreal, wouldn't he?
Oh, do you think we can get him to do our intro now?
Do we have an in? Do we have an in?
I don't know. The friends.
Does
the
he
nice
follow
guys.
Stephen Mulhern?
We'd have an in with him. We need to follow Sam Homewood. Poor my neck. But yeah, no, I stood there, and anyway, after a little while of watching, this girl clearly wasn't going to jump, so we turned around and walked, and went into the cinema, and Jess was like, I said, "Do you want anything to drink?" She's like, "No, I'm fine, I'll just share yours." So we went in, we sat down, she went, "I do want a drink." I was like, "For God's sake." So she went back out, and
Bloody women, eh?
I know, God.
Can't live with them.
I take my drink advice from a man.
Don't forget to do the, like, eyebrow move at the camera when you say that.
I do have quite emotive eyebrows as well. So then she went back out, and apparently while she was stood waiting to get a drink, there's two little boys apparently being like, "Did you see CPK was stood over by the owls watching?" And he was like, "Yeah, I didn't want to say anything to him though." And I was like, that's so sweet, but also definitely say something.
Yeah.
Because the most recent experience of this,
Right.
I was in Meadowhall last week, right? And obviously I used to live really close to Meadowhall, so it was kind of like a hotbed for people to see me there, because I would go there like 3 times a week. And I'd always like tweet something about being in there. Like,
Yeah.
I'd tweet a picture of me eating or something. And so there's a few people have said, like, "Oh, I saw you around Meadowhall today, but I didn't want to say hello." And like, I always tell people, it's way creepier if you don't say anything.
Yeah.
Because chances are, if you've seen me, I've noticed you looking at me.
Yeah. Right.
So I was sat, we had to, it was really busy, and me and Jess had literally just grabbed a McDonald's to eat some food quick while we were there. And we sat on like a little curved table, and it was one of those one that's like, you know, like seats at like bar level. So like people could also sit next to you and you weren't necessarily all together.
Yeah.
So I sat there, and there was a chair between us, and these two girls were sat there. And there was only 2 seats available, so I just went and sat there. And we sat eating, and Jess was talking to me, and then just in the middle of a conversation, she went, "Those girls are staring at you?" And I was like, just ignore, don't look at them, because it makes it like more
Don't
weird
look
then.
at them.
Yeah, because if they're staring
Don't look
at
at
us,
them.
and then Jess is staring at them, someone has to say something eventually, or else I think the world just implodes.
Right.
And so I was just like, "It's fine." And then she was like, "Callum, they're seriously staring." Like 2 minutes later, I was just like, "Look, it's fine, just ignore it." And it was like weirding Jess out, I think.
God.
And
Sounds
so anyway,
like a
they like,
stressful situation.
I was just sat eating, and obviously I didn't want to look, because then it would have been even more awkward. So I was just sat there. Then I was really conscious that I'm sat eating like a blooming chicken legend with mayo spurting out everywhere, and
Yeah.
there's someone watching me eat. And anyway, they went to leave, and as they left, like they just fully turned around and just like stared at me, and it's like, okay, they're definitely looking.
So they didn't
And,
say anything that time either.
They didn't say anything, right? And then I got a tweet 3 minutes later.
Oh,
Can't believe I was just sat behind you in Meadowhall. I should have
bless
said
them.
something. I was like, you definitely should. I was like, Jess saw you looking at us. You should have just said hello. Like, we are the most normal people there are. If you
Yeah.
see any of us, just say hello. We're happy to talk to people.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Like maybe it's like once every couple of months or something. I like happen to someone like comes and says something.
Scary when it's near home, isn't it?
Yeah, I actually about like 1 minute down the road, a couple of
Oh,
times.
what are you doing here? Oh, I've just driven 60 miles to visit a friend.
But we won't worry about that. So I like that because it's like a cool thing and it doesn't happen often. But thinking about if I want, like, do I want to be famous? I would hate to be well known enough to, you know, every single time I go out, be thinking about there being like a few people that would know me, because just I'm not confident enough for that kind of thing, and I think it would just overwhelm me, and I'd just be stressed about you know,
Yeah.
bumping into people and people seeing me and them chatting to us and me being a bit awkward and all that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's in. I mean, I guess a lot of it comes down to as well what people want to do. I don't want to say after YouTube, because I really don't think it's going anywhere. And like, obviously, there's all this Article 13 nonsense and stuff, and I really think that everything's going to be fine for now.
Yeah.
Like, if it gets more serious, I'm sure we'll talk about it. But for now, I don't think anything's going to happen. I think YouTube's going to be a sustainable income for at least the next 10 years, if not more. Assuming I don't just fall off the planet, obviously. There's a chance that my content becomes uninteresting, and then it's
10 years are a very long time on YouTube, to be fair.
Well, you've got to think about the people who are here now that have been doing it that long, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of YouTubers that I can remember watching that have fallen off in terms of their views.
And some people didn't like the fact that it became more like a fame thing, right? And just stopped. They were straight up like, we don't like that we go out now and people know where we are or want to come see us or show it to our house. But for me, after YouTube, I want to get into, I'm trying to get into presenting roles now. I'm trying to get little acting gigs here and there. So I guess the jobs I'm trying to go into are jobs that would be traditionally associated with fame.
Yeah.
I guess. So it's not that I'm trying to be famous. It's just that if YouTube all went to pot and I had to get another job, after this experience for the last 6 years, it'd be very difficult for me to go and work back in a phone shop.
Yeah.
Because it would just it'd be a completely different scenario. If I had to, I would, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'd rather, take advantage of what I have the opportunity of right now and try and secure something like hosting or presenting or, things like that. So not a case of wanting.
I would really struggle not to be self-employed. I think just because of how used to it I've gotten.
It's like the schedule.
Years.
Like I said, it's not even the earning side of it. It literally is the freedom of schedule, the stuff you get to do. Do you think I could really go to LA twice a year if I had a 9 to 5? No, not a chance.
Yeah.
So it's it'd just be a shift in lifestyle paradigm. I think paradigm shift, isn't it?
So hopefully we'll be fortunate enough to continue going on this little journey for the conceivable future.
Yeah, well, I can only imagine that even if YouTube goes to pot, we'll still be famous podcasters because it seems like a great time to bring it up, Jack.
Yeah.
But I actually got an email yesterday at 1:48 p.m. from Dave at Chartable. Yes. Congratulations, Friends and Nice Guys is now ranked number 321 on Apple Podcast Comedy Chart in the United States of America.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Now, I haven't actually clicked the link that he sent me.
Click it. Click the link.
So, it doesn't mention we're 177th in Great Britain.
Oh, wow. That's actually quite cool, isn't it?
And then, get this.
Wait. Sorry to interrupt. 177th overall or in
comedy.
The comedy? Okay, that's
comedy.
still cool.
Right, so, but here's the thing. So when we started the podcast, I took side of the audio stuff and Jack took the video stuff. And I had to basically give us 3 genres. You can't choose 1, you can't choose 2, you have to choose 3. And I was like, well, what is it? Because we're only going to talk about comedy, right? Really? We're just going to talk about current events and things that have happened. So because we came from a gaming background, I put us in games and then games, other games, because that was the only other 2 topics I could think of.
We have not talked about games once.
We have not. Guys, Kingdom Hearts 3 is out now. What I was just having a quick look at here is that is Apple Podcasts, mate.
Right.
Didn't mention here Spotify podcasts, all right? Let me tell you, in Great Britain right now, under the genre of games, we're the 20th most popular podcast.
Oh my goodness. Bloody Callum, when I asked earlier, would you consider yourself famous? Obviously the answer is yes,
clearly
I would.
I already am. What are you talking about? Look at this. Now, the thing is, by next episode, I'll be able to get us a more in-depth thing, because what this email basically said was, we recognize this is your podcast, but to get all the stats, you have to go and claim it. So I have to sign up to their website, claim the podcast, prove it's mine. Blah, blah, blah. I guess they just emailed an email that was attached to it.
Okay.
So once I do that, we've appeared in 60 more Spotify charts, apparently.
Oh my god.
And we're currently number 34 in games in Australia.
Oh, it's quite cool, this, isn't it? I reckon, if we keep at this, we could get top 20 consistently in a few different places.
Honestly, one thing I'd really like is a top 50 comedy podcast in Britain and a top 100 in America. That'd be sick.
That would be awesome.
Obviously, the thing is, YouTube views don't count towards that. And obviously the primary viewership we have is on YouTube at the minute.
Yeah.
Just quickly while we're still talking statistics, Friends and Nice Guys episode 1 has 3,500 plays over like Spotify and iTunes now, which is very cool.
That's awesome.
And it was an 83 to 15% split, Spotify versus iTunes. But obviously it came on iTunes way later.
Right.
This second episode, 55 to 39% Spotify to iTunes.
All right,
So,
a bit more balanced.
Bit more balanced. So a lot of people must actually listen through the podcast app, which is very cool.
Yeah.
So honestly, unreal. What I'm going to ask you guys now, very cheeky, is if you watch the podcast, think it's good, brilliant. If you're going to bed on a night, slap the podcast on Spotify or iTunes and just go to sleep. All right? Just do it.
The sounds of our calming voices.
Yeah, better yet, I once saw that, I think Dodie released a song. Oh, complete tangent very quickly. Dodie, you know Dodie.
No.
Of Dodie fame. Dodie Doddle, you must know who she is.
Nope.
You do.
Nope.
You do.
Don't
Hold
just
on.
say I do. I don't.
I think you do.
Dodie Clark.
That's her.
It's just because I've Googled her. It's okay.
Yeah, I figured you had. Yeah, I figured you didn't just go from not knowing it to knowing her full name. Well, so she was a YouTuber. Well, she is a YouTuber,
Okay.
but very much is also a singer-songwriter in like the public eye
That's what
now.
it says on Google.
So last year she got to write and sing the song for the Audi advert, which is sick.
All right. No.
And her album just charted at like number 5 or something in the album chart, like the UK album charts.
Yeah.
So absolutely mental. I don't even remember what I was originally talking about her for, but heck, that's
But
it's
congrats
impressive.
to Dodie.
Oh
Very pleased.
no, I remembered. So what some people did when she released a single in the past, someone made a playlist that was just her single. And they put it in the playlist like 20 times, and they would put the playlist on when they went to bed, so it would just play the song 20 times while they were asleep. Genius!
Unreal.
Put us in a playlist and play us while you sleep, so we can get up the iTunes charts and we can get up the Spotify charts, so
Top
that people
10.
take us seriously.
Top
we
10.
want top 10.
Do you
If you
think-
get us top
do you-
10,
oh my
we'll make Go West an official song.
Do you think, like, if you're high up on the charts, do you think people that have never heard of you just download it and have a listen?
Yeah, for sure. If you're on like comedy charts, I reckon.
that's
I think we've got quite an appealing name as well. To be
We
fair.
need to be funnier if that. Oh god, jeez.
iTunes podcast comedy charts. I'm going to look who else is in there. Not around our rank because you know we're 400.
Hey, we're 341, I think.
Well, we was.
Come on.
We've slipped.
Oh.
Slipped to 400. We're down 53 places since last night, apparently.
Oh.
I can see our rank history here. Hold on. Blooming heck, January 22nd, we were 178th.
Oh my goodness, was that the day it came out then, I guess?
I think so, yeah. So I guess it's fallen off because we've only put one more episode on. So once it like levels out a little bit, I'm sure
it's
we'll-
all gonna go mental from here. Once we start getting Angela Griffin or whatever on for next
I
episode.
know, yeah. So let's have a quick peruse. Joe Rogan Experience is number 1, unsurprisingly.
Alright.
A YouTuber as number 2.
Who is it?
Stephen Tries.
Ah,
Good guy as well.
yeah.
A few that. Oh, and then number 5, YouTubers again. Jack Mate and I'm Alex. The
We
Happy
can
Hour.
get there. We can get there.
Number 6, Will Young. Will Young has a podcast now called Homo Sapiens. Great. True Geordie podcast is number 10. All right, the top 10 might be a bit difficult here, to be fair.
Oh no, we can get like top 50, I reckon.
I'd like a top 50.
Yeah.
Top 25 would be really nice. The Campcast is there as well. That's actually I'm Alex's one. Number 29, Minnie Minter and Randolph.
Oh yeah. We
Number
can get in
27,
there.
Shane Dawson and Friends. This is wild.
Oh my
Absolutely wild.
I can't wait. Everything to come. Also, we hit 15,000 subscribers on the podcast YouTube channel,
Absolutely
so we
mental.
do appreciate that. Thanks very
Thank
much.
you very much.
And we have a Twitter that we've not promoted anywhere yet, apart from on our Twitters, so you should follow that. There'll be a link in the
You
description
should.
if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, and if you're just listening, at Friends Nice Guys. So it's the podcast name, but without the word and.
At Friends Nice Guys.
That's right.
Yes.
Say
that's
it
the
again.
one. At Friends Nice Guys.
Get Peter Brixton to say it.
Yeah, who's that?
Oh, I don't know. Did I get his name wrong?
Peter Dixon.
Dixon. Close enough.
I was thinking, who's Peter Brixton?
Just
Peter
some guy.
Brixton will be our guest next episode, accompanied by Angela Griffin, featuring Magic Hour from Stephen Mulhern, audio only.
It's a big podcast because apparently we've given Stephen Mulhern an hour.
I can't wait. Well, Callum, do you think we should stop wittering on?
I think we should, yeah. Let's stop
I've had a nice
on.
time there. Thanks very much.
I am as well. You know what? I can't leave it, Jack. I've got to mention it.
Oh, no.
I've got to mention it, Jack.
Go on, slip it in there. I did see it on the bullet point.
It's going to just gently bump us over the hour anyway, Jack, which people love. Right. So the Shorty Awards are coming up, right? Mm-hmm. They happen every year. They've got 400,000 topics that you can win in.
Do they?
There's so many. There's literally so many.
400,000?
I'm slightly exaggerating, Jack, for the drama of it.
Oh, right, okay, I understand. I was going to say, I mean, why am I not nominated? I could be one of those.
Well, actually, quite surprisingly, we're not nominated for Podcast of the Year, which is very strange, guys.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, because aren't we, like, top 400 comedy United States?
Yeah, and, like, we've done 2 podcasts by now, so, like, at what point do we start to reap the benefits of this? Because, I'm getting pretty bored of getting nothing for this, guys. So, but yeah, the Shorty Awards are coming up, and they have such great topics as Best in Gaming, which our pal, Lauren Z-Side, is up for.
Nice.
So, be sure to vote for Lauren. That's great. But yeah, Best of Gaming, Best of Fashion, Best of Tech. There's Best of Weird, which is like weird influencers. Best meme/parody Twitter account. Great. Then you come to one of the more important ones, Breakout YouTuber of the Year, right? Mm-hmm. Which is obviously a big deal in the YouTube community, because it means that you're being awarded for being a breakout YouTuber, right? Which is a great thing. So, you have a quick look through the list and you see a bunch of people who I don't necessarily recognize, but that's because they're breaking through right now, aren't they? So, good for them. And if we were to quickly go down the list here, Actually Happened, sounds like a great channel. Ashley, aka Best Dressed. Peter McKinnon, actually a fantastic YouTuber. I do watch his channel. He's a photographer / digital media guy. Very cool channel.
Yeah.
Madeline Petch, who you may know, Jack may not know, I don't know if he watches it, but she's from Riverdale, and is also good friends with Joey Graceffa. So, she's a breakout YouTuber as well now. Both people who are very much YouTubers. Right at the bottom there, breakout YouTuber 2019, Will Smith. Now, I'm sorry, because about 2 weeks ago in podcast 1, I came out with an outcry of support for the man, right? Because I said it was very cool that someone who is super traditionally famous to be interested in making videos. And he's been quite consistent. He uploaded more than the Orion Sound did this year. So, I mean, he actually came at it. He's got 50 videos in his first, year and a half, I think. So, he really came in and went for it. He does not need to win the breakout YouTuber of the year.
Oh, I'm glad that he's finally got some recognition, because he's been on YouTube right now. He's been trying to get noticed. I'm so glad.
I just feel like pretty much everyone on that list is self-made. They came to YouTube with almost nothing, and they built up their following. And this has been the year that their channels have broken out and become famous, right? Will Smith hasn't had that problem.
Yeah, because it seems. I mean, obviously, fair enough, he can win an award, but it just seems a weird one to put. Yeah, because
technically, yes, his YouTube channel did break out this year. It's because he started it, and he's Will Smith.
Yeah,
that's if Leonardo DiCaprio went, "I'm going to make a YouTube channel." He'd get millions of subs as well. Would he be up for an award? It just seems like a real strange one, and we were going to just skim over it. I couldn't go past that.
You got that off your chest.
I feel so much better. My goodness, I really do.
Oh goodness.
I'm sorry, Jack. I'm sorry to put you through that.
So go and vote for Will. There'll be a link in the description. Oh man, thanks for watching. Was this episode 3?
Episode 3, yes. So I can only assume by episode 5 we're actually going to have some real ad reads. So
we're trying to do these Wednesday, I think. Now
I think Wednesday is the official day. Yeah, we caused a lot of confusion with that. People were like, hold on, so is there a podcast on Friday as well? No.
Yeah, we'll try for Wednesday. Why not?
Yeah, we'll go for Wednesdays. About 6 is when we're going for it, isn't it?
Yeah, 6 p.m. But do appreciate everybody that has listened and watched for this long. That is a considerable amount of time, and we appreciate you dedicating that hour to us. You know what I mean?
I certainly do. Thank you very much for listening to our voices drone on for an hour.
Yeah,
very impressed. Very impressed with you.
Obviously, these podcasts should hopefully just get better and better the more we get used to it. I kind of feel like right at the beginning's our rockiest start. For me personally, I think I'm a little bit nervous at the beginning. It takes us a while to get into it.
Yeah. And then once you get going, once the conversation is flowing,
then I'm bloody away.
That's it. He's off. Then he starts. You should hear all the noises we have to cut out there just randomly in
But
sheer
hopefully,
excitement.
Hopefully, as we continue and I get more used to it, I'll get more confident and they'll be fantastic all the way through.
I'm certainly sure you will, Jack.
Thanks, Callum. I appreciate that.
I believe in you.
Well, I'll catch you in the next one, Callum. See you next Wednesday at 6 p.m.
See you next Wednesday. Yeah, that's the only time we talk. Bye, Jack.
See ya.